All right, welcome back. We're talking about one of the main reasons why the older narcissists, as they get older, the stalking, if you will, is worse with the older narcissists. Okay, um, there's a few factors that play into that. Those of you who are dealing with older narcissists, who may have ran past their prime and now all they have is a lot of time on their hands, right? They don't have very much to do, outside of, entertaining supply and chasing supply. And when the supply runs scarce, right? If you're dealing with an older narcissist and that supply starts to run scarce and they're having a harder time acquiring new supply, you will be stalked, right? Because most of this with narcissists, depending on how they still try to interact and engage with you or, get to you or whatnot, is based off and based on the availability of what they have to their disposal in regards to supply, right? So for the most part, in a lot of cases, a lot of ways, being younger, they can, they have a very good chance at acquiring new supply. They have the energy of being able to go and seek out new supply, and they're on the scene, right? They're game for it. They got, they're young, they're youthful, so in that regards, the attention span towards just focusing on just you exclusively and not moving on trying to see what other sources that they can acquire, they 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 they're all over the place at that point, especially if they're young. They have this one, that one. I mean, they're youthful, so they have a lot of energy, and they're more in terms of being, I want to say, outgoing, vibrant. They're out there, right? But as they get older, they start not wanting to be put in as much effort. Also, they're not on the scene like that as much, right? So when they had a supply that they invested so much time in and you got away, right? They're not in their youth no more. They're way past their prime, and things that which they may have had the energy and all of this to go after when they were younger, it stops being the case once they get older. And this is where they will focus in on, almost to a point of obsession, on the supply that got away from them, on the supply that is no longer wanting to deal with them. So because they're not active like that, because they're not getting around and they're not on the scene as much like that, and granted, some still are trying to get out there, but with the change of times, those tactics and stuff that they used to use become ineffective. And so it's frustrating to the narcissist. So it's much easier to take that out on and go after the low-hanging fruit, if you will. And that is the supply that got away from them, that they are not wanting to just move on, because they feel as though, like, in their minds, it's hard for them to get new supply. So they're going to make it miserable for you to try to move on. They're going to stalk you. They're going to do whatever they can. They're going to still pop up. They're going to, they're just going to try to stay relevant to you as much as possible, just because for them, they know how hard it is. They can't fathom or even, begin to accept the thought of you possibly being able to move on from them, leaving them behind with nothing to fall back on source wise, as a form of supply. So yeah, they will stalk you. They will try to find out where you've moved to, who you're dealing with, popping up at your house. If you haven't moved, for those of you who haven't moved and you got away from the narcissist, please believe there's visitations popping up at your residence, and just spying, just watching, seeing what's going on. I can guarantee you that they're doing that. They're just watching. They may not actually physically come up, knock, make any contact with you, but they'll pull up on the block, just park somewhere. They'll go as far as renting another car, another vehicle, so it doesn't draw attention to them. You won't know it's them, and they'll just be spying. Preferably in the evening time when the sun goes down. They're pulling up, park, and they're just watching, just looking at your house, seeing what movements is going on, who's coming in, who's leaving, what you're doing and whatnot. And this goes on, folks, I'm telling you, to that extreme. Some are brazen enough to actually come up, knock at the door or whatnot. They'll pull up to your job, spying, just seeing what's going on, seeing, who are you fraternizing with, who are you hanging with. They're trying to figure out what it is that made you have enough strength and so forth to finally pull away from them and not deal with them anymore. They're trying to figure that out. They're trying to see, what was it or who is it that gave you such strength to get away from them, because they know the grip that they had on you. They know how strong their effect was on you at one point, where you were madly in love and was doing all this stuff for them, and now it's over. That baffles the narcissist. And although it could not be any involvement with you or another person at all, you just figured them out and moved on, they can't accept that that's what it is. They won't accept that you just figured them out and now you're done and you've moved on. They won't accept that. In their eyes, that's not what happened. In their mind, someone has found your weakness like they found, and they're trying to figure out who it is. They're trying to figure out who tapped in and is a better manipulator than them to get you to flow to that person. So they're always thinking that it's because of another person and not because you finally wisened up and got some sense to you and moved on. So they're not accepting that. So they're snooping around, trying to figure out what is going on, what has gotten a hold of this person that they had eating out of their hands at one point, to now totally ignoring them, no contact, just straight cut off. They can't, it blows their mind, I'm telling you. And so at the end of the day, the only thing they can do is figure out who it is in their mind. They got to figure out who it is. Who is this person that had more game and manipulation, deception than they did? And that's what they're looking for. And that's where the stalking comes in. That's where, like I said, all of these things where they're showing up to your work and watching your house, showing up late at night. It's 11:15 and they parked up the block and or walking up the block, and it might have a hoodie on and walking past your house, trying to see anything. Is there a new car in the driveway? Is there, what's going on? They're looking for that other person because the narcissist knows that's how they move when they do things. So as one think it, they're thinking it also as well. They're thinking that you're doing that. That's what you've done. You're being sneaky, and you found someone, and you're trying to, you have this hidden on the side thing going on, and they're going to figure out who it is in their mind. That's how they take that. That's how they, move with that. So the older ones will put in that much time to actually try to figure out who you're with, who you're dealing with, stalk you, the whole nine. Younger, I mean, they'll move on. They got a plethora of different options, and they have all the energy in the world of going out and chasing something else. So it's not a big deal to the young ones, but the older ones, it's not as easy. So they'll take that time, they'll put in that effort, and they will go out to try to see who they can get to, and they're not having the luck as they did when they were younger. So to them, it's worthwhile, the investment, to stalk and harass old supply. Anyway, stay safe, folks. Make sure to like, subscribe. One-on-ones, I'm available. Click the link in the description box. Just click in the description box and then shoot me an email. I'll get you information on how to go about doing that if you choose. Anyway, till next time, have a good one.